Hello, my name is Cody McCoy, and this is my Module 11 assignment covering staff and student gifts. Now, gifts for students are very common in schools. There's some examples as when they are appropriate and when they are used commonly within schools. This can be broken down into basically two categories. There's special achievement gifts and fundraiser incentives. Your special achievement gifts are going to be things like athletic banquets and academic awards. Generally, these gifts are funds provided by either the general school fund or the athletic fund. And sometimes you may be able to provide these gifts through local businesses or parent organizations, either donating or raising the money on behalf of the school. The other type of gifts are a part of fundraiser incentives. Fundraising is a very common practice in public schools in the United States these days. There's a couple things to remember with these fundraiser incentives, though, is that the gifts or these incentives should be age appropriate. They should be purchased with funds from the fundraiser. We should never purchase these fundraiser incentives with the general school fund, and we need to try to keep these gifts at a maximum of 5% of the profits we make from the fundraiser. That way we don't cut into our profit margin too much where the fundraiser is still beneficial for the entire school. Gifts should be able to be earned by all the students in the fundraiser, so we can't exclude students or tell certain students that they aren't able or they don't qualify to earn the gifts if they are participating in the fundraiser. Gifts for staff can be a little trickier. Public perception about how school money is spent is something that we have to keep in mind as educational leaders. In general, gifts should be purchased with funds from staff, and these should be awarded by a committee. There shouldn't be one person deciding who gets a gift and when. This committee should meet at least once a year and establish guidelines. And it can't be cash or a cash equivalent. These, if it's cash or gift cards, that becomes taxable income that would have to go through the payroll department. As far as special occasion gifts, that same committee that we talked about being formed before would establish when we are going to give out special occasion gifts, and these funds are going to be used raised by staff members. These special occasions may be an addition to the family, like a birth, maybe a wedding, or or even in a more sad case, a death in the family. These are appropriate times to give a gift, but we just have to remember to follow these guidelines when we do it. As far as we can do fundraiser incentives for staff because sometimes staff members are involved in fundraisers. These follow a lot of the same rules as student incentives. No more than 5% of the profit. Don't use the school general fund to purchase it, things like that. As far as all school gifts, these should be very small in value, no more than about $5, and paid with the general funds or fundraisers or the PTO. It's important to remember community perception. Although it's nice for every teacher to get a t-shirt when they first come to the school, really if you want to do that, we need to find ways to fundraise for that, because public perception of how school money is spent is a very, very touchy subject for some people, and we have to remember that as educational leaders that we are serving the community around us. Just a couple things to remember coming back to that community perception. Gifts do not need to be expensive. A little bit goes a long way. People just want to be recognized. They involve the community in PTO/PTA groups. These groups will serve as fundraising organizations on their own sometimes. And some things just to keep in mind, some gifts that we shouldn't ever be using the general fund for. Dinners at restaurants for a staff member, cash or cash equivalents, or like I spoke to earlier, the school logo t-shirts. Thank you for viewing this video. I look forward to your feedback and have a wonderful rest of your summer.